I see what you're saying. I was thinking maybe because of the explosion and Ripley coming back, they exposed the military connection with the alien again. And like that gets out like in a sort of a way in like a Blade Runner-esque story fashion down there. And then, yeah, we end up going out to like, or somehow he brings the ship full of aliens to them, to the planet, or somehow they send a team out. I also kind of want to see like aliens in a jungle type situation, like the first Predator movie.
Being like outside, yeah.
Like so maybe a planet like that somewhere.
Ooh, like a planet that's covered in night for like, you know.
Well, no, I want to see him in broad daylight.
Oh, it would be really cool. It's like you see it like right before it's about to go dark for like a week straight or some shit like that. Oh yeah,
that'd be kind of cool too.
Almost like pitch black a little bit, but
there was so there were a couple scripts written. There was
Predators,
and then the Predators will go there and hunt them.
Well, maybe I don't like the crossover with the way I look
for the comic books.
Yeah,
I know. I'm with you.
It's the Alien franchise, the Predator franchise, and then the Alien versus Predator. They're like three separate universes.
Yeah, I'll buy that.
So
yeah,
it's like reading like three different comic books or whatever.
But yeah, but I really see like a potential in bringing that world more into focus, and then having a more sadistic. Well, that's Fassbender in it. You know what I'm saying?
I want to see more about hear more about the robot uprising, because apparently what happened was the robots started building themselves, and so it was like that. So maybe you could tie in like with viral marketing stuff with Neander Wallace.
What is this? The Matrix?
Yeah, exactly.
Not batteries.
And it was a failed uprising. They failed. So like robots, I think in that future might even be outlawed. I don't know if I wrote that down. I can't remember.
All the way to where the Betty is? They're outlawed? No,
I don't. But he talks about it's a different kind of synthetic.
Yeah.
So imagine,
synthetics being made by synthetics.
Right. So imagine Tyrell and, the Weyland Corporation, later Weyland-Yutani, were, akin to like two big competitors now, like Microsoft and Apple or something like that.
Yeah, but then they merge.
But then Weyland eventually buys them, because he wins. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, he wins the battle. But then you could have a whole movie about that part of it.
But what I'm saying is there's two different kinds of synthetics, the ones that Tyrell built and the ones that Weyland built. And the ones that Weyland built were more like David. Yeah. They were more subservient, and I think they were less organic, because the other ones, as we've seen in Blade Runner 2049, could have children to an extent, it looked like.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They had more organic tissue in them. So they made them like less.
That was the beginning in 2049 that was the very first synthetic child that was born.
Sure. And then now think about that. A synthetic made a synthetic. So eventually it gets
in a natural way, yeah.
Well, no, Deckard wasn't a replicant.
Yeah.
But maybe he was.
That's a good question.
Yeah, we don't know.
I think some people would argue that with me.
Yeah.
But do you know what I'm saying? Eventually, I don't know how. I'd have to look at all my notes here and the timelines and stuff. But eventually there's some sort of uprising down on Earth. And then I want that to somehow connect to David out there with this giant ship of fucking aliens that could turn into, you could have like multiple queens on there, like laying multiple hives. And
because how big was the Covenant ship?
Big.
Okay. Now imagine the ship from the first Alien.
That was big too.
That was a huge ship. Now imagine if he was, and I'm just going with it, him grabbing as many ships and implanting that stuff as possible. Other colonizing ships, because he might have known where they were sending other colonies to. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do know what you're saying. I just think at this point he has what he wants, and he got off the planet that he was stuck on. And now he's like, this is my now I'm going to complete my master plan. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I don't know if you'd necessarily, and to be clear, the Nostromo was big that we saw, but it looks bigger because they're pulling the ore that they caught. It's like a trucking ship. So they don't go back there.
Well,
they're just in the ship.
Well, then maybe too, if he was creating his own hybrid xenomorph / robot.
That's what I'm saying.
They would look really close to the way he looks, but there's something off about them.
Yeah, exactly.
And he could send them out on their own like little deals too.
They could be.
And he could send those ships out, or back to the military planet where they had all the stockpile of everything to pick up ships.
Yeah.
And they would just go back and forth and pick up ships and shit like that. But they all look very, very close to him, but they're just off in certain little ways. Like the very first one looks like a very rudimentary robot style.
So each one of them have a ship that's full of aliens as well?
Maybe.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
I could see that. Like he goes back to LV 223 and starts using the goo and the alien embryos that he had and his organic self and stuff and clones. He's still cloning people. Right. And then there's just like in Alien Resurrection, there's all like these horrible mutations and stuff because some of them will look more like him,
but he's
some
still
of them
using them.
Yeah, but some of them will look like half alien and half robot and stuff.
Yeah, and he would still be using them. So it'd be weird to see like fucking Worf from Star Trek looking dudes.
Kill me.
Weird shit.
Kill me.
Just weird shit.
It could be, I think that could be really cool. And the way it would work is you could show flashbacks with years, maybe, like how it dials out on the screen.
Yeah.
And like, I don't know, you could go back and show like a younger Guy Pearce doing like deals in offices and like, you could see the cataclysm happen when the ship crashes in that center of that part of the Earth, because that would be a big deal. I forgot about that. It'd be like a giant chunk of Earth was just exploded. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But the seas rose 15 feet.
Yeah.
Because Texas was destroyed.
Or what if it crashed out in the sea, Yeah. But the world would look like, Blade Runner-esque, but also have that, I like the Mobius style of like Alien Resurrection.
Yeah.
But also try and keep the styles of, every movie that they've had kind of going forward. And they always got to give them the old alien, but you got to give them something new too.
Yeah,
so I thought there could be like a king alien that looks maybe more like David. Maybe that's the one that looks all fucked up and it's like
maybe he transfers his mind into that one.
Maybe something like that. You know what I mean?
So I don't know his body is still there, like hooked up to something.
Yeah,
but he's like a puppet master.
Yeah. So the sequel would be like you would go past Alien Resurrection, but the prequel part would be everything that happened before every other movie would have like there would be a sequence of events.
There would be a setup,
after everything after Covenant up to Resurrection.
Yeah, and you could tie every one of them together.
You could try,
except for Alien 3.
No, that works. It's just that takes like two weeks.
Yeah. But like tying into something happening, you know what I mean?
You could because Wayland sent a robot there, So
yeah, he did. Yeah. At the end of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it was a Lance Hendrickson robot.
Yeah, and he. So yeah, there could be like maybe because of the knowledge of Prometheus and Covenant, the information was sent back in a way that it just took a long time to get back to them. So they know about this goo and this alien and the way it's created and stuff and the engineers.
And they started planning.
And they started looking for it. That's why when the Nostromo came across this thing, they're like, go investigate it.
Because they never really explained that in any of the movies. They just had a distress beacon.
They never did explain how the company always knew about it.
Yeah, and the company always knew. Mm-hmm. They always wanted to send somebody out there to collect.
It is the company.
Yeah. So
maybe
they know everything.
Maybe they're sending these messages back from when Prometheus takes place it's 2093. And they left for the planet in 2091, so it took them 2 years. And then by the time Covenant's over, it's 2104. So that's, 7 years later?
Jesus.
And so...
Yeah, the whole timeline is like fucking massive.
Well, maybe after that, I don't know. Maybe David interrupts the signal too. Maybe he catches it when he's out there, and now he knows, and he's sending messages back telling them...
Everything's okay.
No, telling them you need to look for this creature. That's why that's why when it stops in the first one, they're like, directive, whatever it was.
Yeah.
It's like in the rope, and then Ash is like, well, we're programmed to, if we find this, we're programmed to go look for this. It took them off course to go to that planet.
It was an embedded override that they already had in their system.
Mm-hmm. That was in Mother or whatever.
Yeah.
And, Mother! And, so yeah, you know what I'm saying? It could be a prequel to a bunch of movies and a sequel. And I don't even know what you would call it. You would have to work out how it would go, but that's just kind of where my mind was going. I don't know if you want to keep going with it. You would also have to introduce a new android that would follow the sequence.
Yeah.
Because it was A, B, C, D, and then W, because W is the opposite of D on the other end of the alphabet. So maybe you'd go like, I don't know.
Yeah, maybe he calls himself something else.
Eric.
Yeah, maybe he does. Each one of the androids that he makes, the synthetics that he makes, has another letter.
Or one from Earth that Call knows. You know what I mean? Like Call has a friend when they get back to Earth, but maybe she's Winona Ryder's not in it. I don't know. Maybe you don't follow those characters, but
I don't know. But maybe they do mention it.
Maybe they mentioned it. Yeah, maybe it's like 10 years later.
Because the Betty characters are completely there on their own, I think.
Yeah.
At that point.
Because they're like outlaws. So they're like, oh, yeah, okay, we're good. We're good. We landed here.
Yeah.
We're back on Earth. We're good.
Yeah, but I don't think they were going back to Earth. Yeah. They were going to land back on Earth.
That's because that's where the ship was programmed to go back to.
Yeah, and then when they escaped on the Betty, and then they ended back on Earth for it.
Mm-hmm.
So
we'd leave them alone, I guess.
Yeah.
Right on.
They could be on there fighting shit and later.
I don't know. What do you think you'd call it?
Man.
The aliens?
Son of a bitch.
Maybe.
No, that's a good
That's a
representation,
son of a
though.
bitch.
No, that's an awesome. Like, if you wanted to truly like point that out to somebody, be like, look at how weird it sounds to say the aliens
Yeah.
compared to aliens. That's a good representation of like a the that shouldn't be there.
Yeah.
Right.
No, I mean honestly.
Yeah. But what would you
To
call
segue
it?
in between as well, I'll throw in little tidbit of ideas that I haven't really thought through.
Sure.
Okay.
But we got to think of a name before we move on, though.
I don't know. That's a great idea. Though.
It's a good idea. It's a pretty big idea, so I don't think I'd want to just name it on a whim.
And then have
Alien
one movie
Infinity.
too.
The only thing I could think of was what?
Alien Infinity?
Alien Rebellion,
Ooh,
Alien Cataclysm.
Cataclysm, Alien Endgame.
Terrible.
I don't know. Infinity sounds
Annihilation, Alien Annihilation, with no like Alien : It'd just be Alien Annihilation. But
Yeah.
that sounds too
And then
direct to video.
Yeah.
But then if you do like
That's a good way of like.
Wasn't that the second Mortal Kombat?
Mortal Kombat Annihilation.
Yeah. You definitely don't want to name it that.
it's cursed. Except
So-
for the movie called Annihilation.
So have
That
you
was
guys-
That was a really good idea. No,
Yeah,
like
I
that.
agree.
Yeah.
That was
A
awesome.
lot of connective tissue there.
Yeah, you know what I mean.
And
And
lore.
you don't have to specifically point out like the Tyrell connection because that in this point it would be like an old
Yeah, it's implied.
merger.
Well,
thing
I was getting
happened.
ready to say that's part of the cool part. The fans of this are going to pick up the ties.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, you don't have to state them overtly.
You could
know
go
what I
back,
mean?
like you could go to Los Angeles and you could see maybe the Tyrell Corporation buildings in ruins or something. Right.
Yeah,
Background.
yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
But I just can't figure out how you would connect David out there in space with all the aliens to like a group of main characters on Earth. How do you get them together? Maybe he finally realizes that it's time to go back and destroy Earth or something. I don't know. Destroy his maker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's
He's
why
like-
you would call it
he's like,
Annihilation.
dun, dun,
Yeah, there you go.
dun, he's coming in on this big like alien ship.
He stops right in the middle of fucking Central Park.
Yeah, he just lands down.
It was like, holy shit. Real aliens.
He hovers over the White House
that may
and
be
then a
it.
beam
For him
goes-
to become the maker, he has to
Destroy. Yeah, that's
Destroy
what he
his
wanted.
own
Yeah,
maker,
that was kind
yeah.
of the themes I got from Alien Covenant. Even though I
Yeah.
like Prometheus
That was
better.
his end game.
Yeah.
Is to actually really literally go to Earth and destroy.
That's what he's doing
Yeah.
on the Covenant. That's why he's making them. You know, and it would take years to do that. You know.
Yeah.
I really enjoyed the Covenant and Prometheus movies,
Yes.
so this was perfect. Yeah, I think that you could do a lot with this.
I thought you would get like Neil Blomkamp to direct it because he wanted, you know, or have Ridley Scott involved, obviously.
Well, you could do a whole series of them, and then also add in the Colonial Marines, and but not necessarily the Colonial Marines, because those are for the alien time.
Yeah, it would
Aliens.
be the U.S. Marine Corps or whatever
Whatever they
US
are.
Space Marines or whatever.
Yeah,
they
whatever
talk
they
about.
are at that point, where fucking not Gomez Adams, Dan Hedaya.
Yeah, Dan Hedaya,
Dan Hedaya. Yeah, is part of that.
What do you want, Elgin?
Yeah. What do you want?
What do you want?
well, I think you could. I like your idea.
But yeah,
I'm just trying to think.
I like the idea of maybe the Colonial Marines are still around. It's just a different military faction.
Or there could be.
I'll buy that.
Or there could be Colonial Marines that are like mercenaries.
Well, the Betty crew is like mercenaries.
Yeah, I think that's like you said in your faction, it would be like a faction of
Because at this
mercenaries.
point, there probably would be like little broken up pieces all around the world. Like I wouldn't think it would be Mad Max-esque, but it would be futuristically dystopian, like Blade Runner, but
Resources are gone.
yeah, like it's
There's only almost like Judge Dredd style, but like more low rent.
Is Book of Eli going to be?
No,
I don't mind that movie.
Yeah,
that was
it was a
good.
good
It was
movie,
good.
yeah.
It'd just be weird for him to be in this movie.
Spoiler alert: he was blind the whole time.
What?
Barack.
No way. The movie's been out like 10 years.
I know.
The spiders in the wine cellar.
Post-apocalyptic.
Yes.
I actually know that
arachnophobia.
reference. I think I know that reference.
Yeah?
Arachnophobia?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Honestly, when you're talking about Mad Max and post-apocalyptics,
Mad